Hello, today we're going to be looking at two sub $100 handle options for your gimbal. Now before we start, both of these handles are sent to me by their manufacturers. I was not paid otherwise to say anything else. So let's start with the one on my right, the Digitalfoto DH04 dual spring loaded Digitalfoto DH04 Z-axis flexible dampening spring dual handle grip bracket holder. So like I mentioned, this handle is a spring-loaded handle that is meant to balance out the Z-axis. For those who don't know, the Z-axis is the up and down axis. Do not confuse this with the tilt axis. The tilt axis is when you point the camera toward up and down. The Z-axis is complete vertical up to down movements. So essentially how this works is when you have your gimbal in the middle, it's supposed to dampen out the up and down movement as you walk. Now there are already plenty of videos out there showing how well this works, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to make this a little bit different. If you're interested in seeing the result, I would recommend you checking out Gregor and Curtis' video. I'll put a link below. So as you can see from the test footage, the DH04 handle works extremely well. It does everything that it's supposed to do. It gets rid of the typical up and down bumpy gimbal look. However, there are some things that you should know before you purchase this handle or any spring-loaded handle in general. Now, first of all, because this is not a traditional handle, it has springs in there and it has tension control in there. When you first get it out from the box, it takes some time to find the right spring and the right tension between these four knobs to get the right settings for your particular setup. It's kind of like a gimbal. You don't just throw your camera onto the gimbal and expect to just get smooth shots. It's the same thing with this handle. When you put it on the gimbal, you don't just magically get rid of the bounce. You do have to practice. It's not hard, but it's definitely more work than a traditional dual handle when it's just a metal bar. Secondly, and in my opinion, the more important thing is due to its spring-loaded design, you cannot take your hand off the handle. You must keep both of your hand on the handle at all times. And you might ask, what does that practically mean? Why wouldn't you want to keep your hand on the handle at all times? Well, sometimes when you want to change a setting on the camera, you want to change the focus, you want to tap to focus, you want to use the focus wheel on the Ronin-S, you cannot do this with this handle. The moment you let go of one side, it would just the whole thing would just fall down. And translate that to a practical sense is that every time you're changing your camera setting or even just stop and start recording, you have to either set the whole gimbal down or somehow do like this and grab the center of the gimbal and then change your setting. Because like I said, you cannot let go of one hand and go grab it. The weight of the gimbal would pull the entire handle down as soon as you let go of one side. To me, that was probably the most annoying thing. Again, the two things that I just mentioned are not deal breakers. They are just the nature of using a spring-loaded dual handle. The things that I just described may or may not fit into your workflow. You will have to be your own judge. Now let's move to a more traditional dual handle. So this is the Eachshot Ronin-S dual handle grip, and it is, like I said, a traditional dual handle. Pretty straightforward. It's just one long rod with two handles on the side, so nothing too exciting. However, unlike the DH04 handle, the Eachshot is built completely out of metal with very smooth rubber on the handle. The packaging was also extremely well packed. It kind of looks like some sort of high-end shotgun mic packaging. One thing that's really cool is that it comes with two of these quarter screw adapters that basically just goes around the handle and you can place it anywhere on the handle. Now if you recall a little bit, I said this was the Eachshot Ronin-S handle. That means this dual handle is built specifically for the Ronin-S. And what that means essentially is that the clamping part is an oval shape instead of a circular shape. The battery grip for the Ronin is like a rectangle / oval-y shape. So yeah, unlike literally every single gimbal on the market, the Ronin-S has a rectangle handle instead of a circle. So if you're picking this up, it will only work with the Ronin-S and it will not fit on your Crane, your Moza Air, your whatever. The DH04, on the other hand, has a much flatter clamping area that really is designed to hold circular gimbals as large as the Crane 2 all the way down to like the Crane V1. But that's actually a con when you're using the Ronin-S because of the shape of the rectangle handle. If you're only using two flat-ish plastic plate to secure it front and back, you get a lot of wobbles and it's not very secure, especially consider the weight of the Ronin-S. This thing in the DH04 slips like crazy. The only way to get around it is really to just tighten the four screws really tight, which is probably bad considering this is all plastic build and it's probably not going to last very long if you just keep over cranking the screws. I've actually talked to Digitalfoto regarding that slipping issue and they say they're coming out with a new version that has the similar oval shape clamp design like the Eachshot. So if you use any gimbal other than the Ronin-S, this thing is great. If you own the Ronin-S and you need a spring-loaded handle right now, this can work. I can recommend it. It's just you have to tighten the screw a lot in order to avoid slipping. In the end, both of these handles cost exactly $99 US. One isn't exactly better than the other. The DH04 spring-loaded handle is a more specialized tool. If you do a lot of walking, long takes, tracking, even running shots maybe, this will be a great add-on. But if you don't do that, the Eachshot is probably a better buy. And of course, the Eachshot is specifically made for the Ronin-S. This thing is made for everything but the Ronin-S. The Ronin-S version is coming, but so far the DH04 really isn't that suited for the Ronin-S. It can work, just not ideal. Alright, that will conclude today's video. Make sure to check out Gregor and Curtis' video if you want to see the test result of this DH04 handle. Leave your question in the comments, but until then, I'll see you in the next video. It was just like...